The Oysterman stopper knot or the Ashley's stopper knot? Morning men, starboard 10. The buffer. Hello everybody, welcome back. Yeah, today's a little bit of a nautical knot. Okay, not proper naval knot, but this particular knot I believe was discovered by Clifford Ashley when he was on board a oyster vessel. And if you're interested in more about that, I will put more in the description below about this particular stopper knot. Now the thing is, with this particular stopper knot, it is a rather lovely stopper knot because I believe that this is one of the bulkiest stopper knots in a single strand of rope. And as you can see here, when we actually turn it on its back, it's got 1, 2, and then just at the other side there, it's actually got 3 loops. So in other words, probably a good knot for the bottom of a swing. I did see somewhere that possibly for climbing, but I'm not sure. If you're a climber, tell me if this rope is good enough or not. But I get the feeling, because of the actual size of the actual 3 loops at the bottom here, this knot could possibly collapse on itself. So if you're going to think about this for climbing, I would seek more professional advice on it. Anyway, what I'm going to do today is this lovely little stopper knot. It's great, it's so simple and easy to tie, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 3 ways of tying it, and the last way, to be honest, is my absolute favourite way. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on and let's get knotting. Right, so as you can see in front of me, I've got my length of rope and I want to put the actual Oysterman stopper knot or the Ashley stopper knot somewhere near towards the end of this rope. So the first thing that I do is, in my right hand is my working end and the left hand is my standing end. And the first thing I do is I just put the 2 ends together, or the 2 bits of rope, so that we form ourselves a nice bite at the top of the rope. The next thing I do is take that bite and fold it over so what I've done is I've taken, let's see, get that into picture, take the end of the bite, fold it over so that we end up with 2 nice little rabbit ears on that left hand side. Now the next thing I want to do is I don't need as big a hole on the right hand side there, so what I'm going to do is just take it so that I end up with a lopsided bunny. Once I've done that, the next thing that I want to do is I get hold of my left hand loop and I pass it up through my right hand loop like so. And then when I've done that, what I can do is just pull up on it a little bit. So pull up, and what you can see here now is I've created a slip knot around here, and then all I'm doing now is just tightening up around that slip knot. And then now that I've tightened up on that a bit, I can then get my working end, which is still the right hand one here. And what I do is I bring the working end and pass it around the back of that loop that I've created there. And then that's it. That is it tied. Then all I need to do now is just pull on my standing end. And then you will see now, and as I bring it up, as I dress it up, we've now created the actual Oysterman's stopper knot, or the Ashley stopper knot. I'm not sure why it's called the Ashley stopper knot. I know he did discover it, but he named it the Oysterman's knot. And as you can see here now, as I've formed this nice and loosely here, you can see here now we've got a nice 3 loops coming off here. So in other words, if this was, say for example, on a piece of wood with a hole drilled in it for a swing or something like that, it makes a nice stopper knot. Or if you want to pass it through something but don't want to end up losing the end, your stopper knot here is going to actually stop that from coming through. And so that is, I think that's the more complicated method of actually tying it. I personally prefer the next 2 methods, and the last one is just the simplest of all, and I love it and I always use it. If ever I want a stopper knot, that's the one I always go for. But if you're a climber, you might not want that one because that stopper knot might not be good enough for you. But if you are a climber, tell me about it as to whether or not it is a good knot for climbing. I doubt it. Right, so anyway, let's get on and let's tie the second one. I was going to untie this end, but I thought I'd leave this one in just to show you that all three methods do produce the same knot. So on the other end of my rope here, going over to my left hand side there, I have got my working end and standing end going off to the right hand side. And so what I'm going to do is just hold it in my hand, and the first thing that I'm going to do is just get the right hand, my standing end, and just form a loop like that over my working end. And so you can see now it's going from my working end underneath the standing end at that point there, around over the working end, and then off to the right hand side. Then once we've done that, what we want to do now is just get the right hand side here on our standing end, and get the standing end and just gently poke it up, just a little bit of a bite, poke a little bit of a bite through that loop that we created there. Once we've done that, we then take hold of our working end here, bring the working end round over the standing end at this point here. So it's going around over the standing end and then through that bite that we just pulled through, and that's it. Quick, simple, and all we need to do now is just pull it up, dress it up, pull it up nice and tightly, and it takes just a little bit of dressing, but not much. It's very quick, very easy to do, and you can see now where I've now pushed that into place. We have got our 3 loops at the bottom here forming a nice large area, and then if we actually compare the two, if I pull that up a little tighter, you can see that they are both exactly the same as each other. Right, so as you can see, there's my previous stopper knots, the Oysterman's stopper knot or the Ashley stopper knot that I did just to show you. And the final way of actually doing this one is, now I did a video a little while ago on the marlin spike hitch and all of its uses. And to be honest, this way is absolutely simple and easy, and if you want to know what the marlin spike hitch can actually turn into, I'll drop a link down below in the description or in the comment section, and you can see how the marlin spike hitch, what a wonderful knot it is that turns into so many other knots. I'm enthusiastic about that one because, to be honest, it's my all-time favourite knot. So anyway, the final way is, as you can see here, I have got my working end going off to the right hand side there, and what I do is I get the working end into my hand like so, and then what I do is between my thumb and index finger, I just roll it so that we end up with a loop at that point there. And then what I do then again is just roll it for a second time so that loop comes over and passes over the standing end. And you can see now here we've almost got the marlin spike hitch. And so don't forget, check out that video. The marlin spike hitch is just one to know. Right, so once I've done that, the next thing I do is I just dive down and pull through a bite like that. And so what I've done is I've pulled through a bite from my standing end, and then I take my working end, I bring it over my standing end at that point there, bring it round the back of the loop. That's the important thing. Bring it round the back of the loop and then pull it through. And then that's it. It's tied. And all I've got to do now is just pull up on it and tighten it up. And then we've now got our Ashley stopper knot or the Oysterman stopper knot. And as I just tighten up on that, and then the thing is, it's fairly easy to adjust. So if you are putting up a kid's swing or something like that, it's a great little knot. And once again, you can see here at the bottom of this knot, we've got 1, 2, 3 nice loops. It's a nice large area. And then if I bring the others into play, bring them back again, you can see then we've got 3 in number Ashley stopper's knots or the Oysterman's stopper knot. And they just want tightening up a bit and dressing up. But once it's in place, it's not going to go anywhere. But as to the strength of it, I don't think you can use this one for climbing. But once again, if you are a climber, don't ever watch my videos and believe that you can actually use my knots for climbing. Always check that out. Mine is just for interest's sake. So anyway, once again, Thanks very much for watching. That was the Oysterman stopper or the Ashley stopper knot and the usual routine, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye bye.